Our dear teacher, Sailor Bob, often says there's no such thing as a one-ended stick. Every stick has two ends. Our strength is our weakness. Our blessing is our curse. And the very searching for enlightenment can be the obstacle to experiencing it. Growing up in the 60s and the 70s, it was all about getting high and being high. Oh, he's a really high being. And it usually was a he. And the opposite of that was to be down. In fact, if you wanted to upset someone, you gave them a put down. Oh, that's a downer, man. That's really bringing me down. That's really heavy, man. So, the 60s, the split mind, high is good, low is bad. But it's not just then. Variations of that metaphysical split can be found across all cultures over thousands of years. In all religious traditions, it's the same thing. One end of the stick is exalted and desired, and the other end is denigrated and unwanted. High equals good, low is bad. Spirit is good, matter is bad. Man is good, woman is bad. Thinking is good, feeling is bad. Spiritual seeking is good, material seeking is bad. The variations of that split go across all cultures, all traditions. Now, we often overlay our concepts of enlightenment onto this split mind. And enlightenment is seen as those positive qualities. Being high, being full of light, being loving, being in bliss, all-knowing, free from doubts, concerns, or attachments. In fact, anything that is unwanted or considered undesirable is called unenlightened. Now, enlightenment is often conceived as an idealized future state. And like all idealized future states, they never arise. Tomorrow never comes. You may as well get to the end of the rainbow or attempt to stand on the horizon. The issue here is separation. Separating by time, separating by attributes. These qualities are considered desirable and wanted. These are unwanted and rejected. And remember, the core of Buddhism, the core fixation, is grasping, wanting what you like, pushing away, rejecting what you don't like. And that push-pull is the core of all suffering. So separating by time, separating by attributes, and the very act of separating itself creates a separating entity, a judge, making the distinctions, yes, no, right, wrong, up, down. So as a practical hint, stop separating. There is just this. The quantum physicist David Bohm describes it as unbroken wholeness. Or another of his expressions is seamless sameness. Unbroken, seamless. Non-dual. Not two. Just this. Only that. One without a second. Not even one. And that extraordinary Dzogchen expression which nails it in one phrase. Non-conceptual, ever fresh, presence awareness. Just this, nothing else. So we're teasing that apart. Non-conceptual. Everything is conceptual. It's so amusing when someone says, oh, that's a concept. That's fine. Describe to me something which isn't a concept. Everything is conceptual. Every word, every thought, every image, every sound, every picture. It's all conceptual. Non-conceptual is uncreated, non-existent. Or as Banki, the Zen master, would say, unborn. Ever fresh, ever, always fresh, arising new, arising for the first time. Nearly 2,500 years ago, Plato, quoting Heraclitus, says, "You can never enter the same river twice." This is ancient wisdom. Nothing is ever repeated. Everything arises for the first time, only once. There are no repeats. There is just this, ever fresh. Presence, awareness. Presence, here. Awareness, knowing. Or those pithy, almost contentless expressives, cognizing emptiness. You can't get your head around that. Cognizing emptiness. Or sky-like awareness, without boundaries, without distinctions, without beginning, without end. Space-like awareness, without any attributes whatsoever. Stop separating. There is no valid reference point. There is just this. And to overlay a split mind is just that, an overlay. Concepts of enlightenment, capturing a bag of assumptions, is just that. The hint is to embrace. This is it. Enlightenment is this. Whatever is presently arising, this is it. Including all thoughts. If you're sitting there going, I don't get it, that's it. Enlightenment is arising as this, including that thought. Just this, nothing else. Affirm, open up, accept, this is it. What can be simpler? Or if that doesn't do it for you, do the opposite. Deny everything. In Sanskrit, neti, neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this. Undercut everything. There is no final state. There is no awakening. An experience is just an experience. It's not this, it's not that. Deny it, negate it. In the early 1990s, Kalyani and I and our two children spent several days with Yuji talking. Remember, we sat on his bed, Kalyani holding our baby daughter and our son crawling around the floor, as Yuji just deconstructed everything. No future, no purpose, no meaning, no spiritual search, nothing to do, no help. I remember towards the end of the second afternoon, I was sitting there thinking, oh, it's all meaningless. I might as well leave. There's nowhere to go. Might as well stay. Getting out of Yuji's room is always problematic. Because he just undercut everything. Deny, deny, negate, 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 negate. Within the Christian mystical tradition, this is called the via negativa, the path of nothing. And the 16th century Spanish mystic Sir John of the Cross, he said once that his whole teaching could be summed up as nada, nada, nada. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And he used a beautiful analogy to describe the relationship between the individual will and the divine will, using the analogy of a window and the sun. When the window is dirty, one readily sees the difference between the window and the sun. But when the dirt is completely wiped away, the window and the sun are indistinguishable. Without ceasing to be a window, it nonetheless appears to be the sun. The sun transforms the window. The window becomes the light of the sun by participation. Deny, 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 wiping away everything. And all that's left is this self-shining luminescence. Now, affirm everything, this is it. Open up, saying yes, this is it. There is nothing else, just this. Deny everything, negate everything. Not this, not this, not this. These two pointers are going in the opposite directions, yet they are one. We're now entering the realm of paradox, the realm of both ends. The American writer Scott Fitzgerald once said that the sign of a first-class intelligence is the ability to hold two contradictory ideas at the same time and still function. Paradox. This is the realm of both ends. Reality is both personal and impersonal. There is no me, and I know that. There is no knower, and there is knowing. Both and. And the heart of Buddhism, the Heart Sutra, 6 words. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness. You look in a mirror, you cannot deny the appearance of your reflection, yet it has no reality, no independent existence. It isn't and isn't. In the words of the Hinsing Ming, to deny the reality of things is to miss the reality. To assert the emptiness of things is to miss the reality. Both hand. Now to go even deeper and even subtler, we enter this pristine world of neither nor, double negation. You get this in some of the more scintillating Zen writings of the Zen patriarchs. The Hinsing Ming is one example. The writings of the Dzogchen masters, Longchenpa, the I Ching, the Dao De Ching. This double negation. It is neither this nor that. There is no suffering here, and there's no absence of suffering. We are neither trapped nor free. There is no self, nor is there absence of self. There is neither enlightenment or no enlightenment. It's a famous pointer in the Hinsing Ming. Stop talking and thinking, and there is nothing you will not be able to know. Fabulous multiple negations. There is nothing you will not be able to know. So I've led you through layers. Acknowledge everything, deny everything, resting in the realm of paradox, neither this nor that. Double negation. No reference point is possible. Neither this nor that. You can't say it is and you can't say it isn't. So, let's open up a conversation.